we got Eagles and the Cowboys. Jules, they're both locked in. However, a loss would end any hope of a 2 or 3 seed for Dallas and another potential home game. Are we going over or under 42.5 in Philly?
Yeah, it's a low total for a Cowboys-Eagles game, right? So we got to look into what's going on here. What's the motivation? It seems like Dallas is going to try and win this game for seeding purposes, and we saw that. This number was 2.5, 3, blew up to 7. Eagles potentially with some COVID concern, and the how motivated are the Eagles going to be? They got in, they clinched their spot last week in Washington. Almost had some bad luck losing Jalen Hurts walking off the field. So they got to feel good that they have their quarterback going into the playoffs. They might just play this one safe and get into their wild card spot and just play with what they have. So it all depends on Dallas for me. Like, I really don't feel comfortable with this game total. Like, why is it so low? Is it about the Eagles? Is Dallas actually not as motivated as they are letting on? I would probably just wait until closer to kick, make sure we're going to get Dallas's top effort, see if Philly is down some guys, and play the over on Dallas's team total. I don't know. This total's got my mind in a blender, but that's the way I would go about it.
Matt, does this total have your mind in a blender?
Not quite. I am a little confused, but
that's smarter than I am.
That is not true, but I may have another piece of information that could explain it. It's going to be like 20-something degrees for this game, so I think that's partly why the total is so low. And I also think it's possible the Eagles just don't play their main offensive starters the whole game, or perhaps not at all. Like, they don't need to win this game. They're in the playoffs. I think this game really just dictates if they're the 6 or the 7 seed, and they can't really move around much more than that. Dallas Goedert and Jason Kelce, their center, are the two main COVID concerns right now, but they're potentially missing a lot of their offense, and like, there's just not much point. And with it being so cold, like, maybe there's more injury risk than normal. The Eagles don't usually play in 20-degree weather. I know it's Philly in the winter, it's always cold, but it's usually not this cold. So I think this is one to just keep an eye on, because if we find out that the Eagles players have cleared protocols and everyone's going to be out there, like, maybe you bet the over at that point, despite the cold weather. But I think this could go either way, where the Eagles just say, we don't need this game. We've got a banged up team. Let's just give it a week, and we'll play in the playoffs, because 6 versus 7 seeding wise doesn't really matter that much.
Okay, Pearce, which way are you leaning here?
Matt might have just talked me into the under, which is crazy, because 42.5 is a really low number for Dallas. And Dallas has been hitting unders every single week, but the numbers have been much higher. And their defense has played really well. But you go back to early in the season, their offense was rolling. They were hitting overs. The defense was still playing pretty well. But what was happening was teams, specifically Philadelphia, the Giants, Carolina, they were getting these garbage points at the end that were pushing the games to go over. Now, it was much higher totals. But going to what these guys have already mentioned, if Philly's got COVID issues, if Philly's going to rest their starters at the end, like Matt thinks is going to happen, then I don't think it does hit the over. If we find out that Philly's going to play everybody and most of their guys are going to be healthy, then I do like the over, because it's a low number, and I think you can get that backdoor over cover. But now I'm starting to worry. I don't think these guys are going to play. So if that's the case, I'm going under.